Hello again. So we've talked about improvisational concepts a couple of times so far today, but I think the best way to demonstrate it is by actually seeing it. So I want to invite in two familiar faces to all of you. Please give a round of applause for Sylvie and Eli, everybody. Come on up. While they're getting their microphones set up, I'll kind of talk through what we're going to see today. We're going to see a brief improvisational scene between Sylvie and Eli. Now, do either of you improvise regularly?
No.
Are we seeing the improv show debut of each of you today?
Yes.
Yes. So, again, give them one more round of applause for being brave and doing this. There we go. So, in order to demonstrate improvisation, I'm going to have Sylvie and Eli play a game for us, okay? That game is called ABC, and it's relatively simple. One of them will say a line that starts with the letter A, the next person will say a line that starts with the letter B, and then C, and then so on and so forth. Shockingly enough, for actual adults, the most difficult part of this game is remembering the ABCs, especially when you're in a room full of people. But we're going to give them a couple of suggestions to inform this improvisational scene that, once again, has not been planned, rehearsed, talked about,
Because it's
or any
improv.
of those things. Exactly, because it's improv. So, from someone in the middle section, could I get a location that could fit on the chancel? So something that's like a small, like a room in a bigger building, or a location that's a little small. I hear back here? An elevator. I love it. Let's bring in the stage picture a little bit. An elevator. So Sylvie and Eli are on an elevator. Now, from someone in this area, what is their relationship to each other? Are they maybe co-workers, doctor-patient? Someone over here, shout out a relationship between two people. So I heard complete strangers. I'm going to challenge that we do maybe a relationship that informs it a little bit more than complete strangers. Therapist and patient. Okay, and I love therapist and patient. And just to take that and refine it one level further, are they before or after the session? After, okay. So we have therapist and patient shortly after a therapy session.
Who's the therapist and who's the patient?
Would you like to define it?
No, I think you guys should.
Okay, then from this area over here, who looks like they would be a therapist between Sylvie and Eli? Sylvie. Sylvie, truly all of them said it in unison. Every single person over there. I mean, here it was like one person throw out a suggestion. We got two suggestions here. Here, I think we had 15 different people all yell out, Sylvie, immediately. Okay, so patient and
So
therapist.
silently, they also all screamed my name at the same time.
Yeah. So we're on an elevator, therapist and patient, post-session, starting with the letter A, whenever you're ready.
Oh man, that was something else. You're really helping me out, but I got a lot going on.
Boy, howdy, do I know.
Can we maybe make this elevator go all the way to the 15th floor so we have some extra time to talk?
Dude, you'd have to pay me for that. I charge an hourly rate. I can divide that into minutes. I will. Don't waste my time.
Enough. I've had enough of you. I think I just need to find a new therapist. This is outrageous.
Fine, if that's your decision. That's acceptable. I validate that feeling. I can send you a list of recommendations if you'd like.
Go get some additional training, maybe? Because as of now, I don't think I can refer you to anybody or refer anybody to you because I don't feel confident in your ability to be a therapist. Look at what's happening right now.
Help me, Lord.
And scene. Give them a round of applause, everybody. They did incredibly well. Great job. Yeah, y'all can go ahead and have a seat again. No, that's just one. Eli's got the bug. Eli's like, oh, we're not doing another one? They want to put up an entire show for you right away. I thought they did incredibly well. They really, really did. And again, they've never done improv before. And the reason they were able to do so well with it right away was because they agreed with each other's ideas and they built upon it. Once Eli became combative towards this therapist, Sylvie could have said, "You're my favorite patient. You're always so good to me." We didn't get to why. We only gave you 30 seconds. We got a lot out in 30 seconds. But they agreed and built upon those ideas in a really beautiful way. And I thought they supported each other well. Great, great job.
Through David, I have gotten to know a lot of improv performers. And I have to say that they all have this amazing, positive, and supportive mindset. And it makes me wonder what church would look like if it embraced a positive and supportive mindset. A few things come to mind. If church focused on building a positive, supportive mindset, people would feel empowered. There'd be this general sense of feeling like, if I drop the ball on this, then I know that someone will have my back. And if they drop the ball, then it's my job to have their back. Also, there would be a culture of experimentation. We'd be free to try new things with the assurance that we learn from whatever we try. Whether it succeeds or not, the learning is the point. We put it out there, and then we support each other with whatever happens. A positive, supportive church culture would also mean that we'd feel comfortable speaking honestly, even when we disagree. We would normalize disagreement because we'd understand that we really do need each other's wisdom. Supportive community does not mean that we're silent when we disagree. It means speaking our truth, learning how to do that with respect and openness to hear how the other person responds. We'd all feel like we're on the same team, and we'd all know that we need each other's perspectives. A question. In your experience of this church, how do you think we're doing? Do you feel loved and supported? Do you yourself personally right now feel loved and supported by this community? And do you actively contribute to helping others feel loved and supported here?
As I've coached improvisers, be it in a classroom setting or a house team setting, one rule I always try to instill into them is support. I do it through yes and many other things. But I fully acknowledge, even though I've done this for 20 years, improv still makes me nervous. And I know that as people are newer to it, it makes them even more nervous. It takes bravery to get out on that stage with no script and just go. It really does take bravery. And you need to support each other's decisions in order to encourage future bravery, right? Going back to children's time, if when I heard "I am a tree," and my response would have been, no, you're not, you're a kid. That would have been a very low percentage choice, because then we are arguing with each other. We are fighting over reality. I need to hear my scene partner say, "I am a tree," and enthusiastically agree with that idea so that I can hear what the next idea is. Because if I negate what they're saying, they are going to be less likely to say anything else, right? Whenever you are brave and you put yourself out there and do something, and it's not received well, you feel less likely to do it again. It's so important in communication to make people feel heard and supportive, to encourage that bravery in the future.
Hear these words from First Corinthians. What should be done then, my friends? When you come together, each one has a hymn, a lesson, a revelation. Someone speaks in tongues, another interprets. Let all things be done for building up. Think of our congregation as an improv troupe. We gather in various ways in worship, in social events, in committee meetings, in classes. We work together in countless service projects in our community. Now, in church, every single person brings something to contribute. And at our best, we honor each other's gifts. And we open up the ways that we can all build on each other's gifts. In an improv troupe, the performers all contribute as they build something together, and so it is in church. Performers who improvise well together have this deep sense of trust in each other, and they practice a lot together to build that trust. It's a bit counterintuitive that it takes a lot of practice to improvise well, but it does. So if we think of our congregation as an improv troupe, what are the ways that we practice together? The first thing that comes to mind is worship. Worship is about the only time when we're all together in one place at one time. So to some extent, worship is practice because we explore our shared vision of what it means for us to be church. And many individuals bring their gifts to worship. The musicians, the sextons, the behind-the-scenes people, the ushers, the AV team, the flowers, the chancel setup, those who've written the liturgy or prepared the bulletin or offered the sermon. Worship is practice, but it's not the most interactive way that we practice together, because there's a relatively small group of people who are active in worship, and a much larger number participate in quieter ways. On a more interactive level, we practice being church by participating in meetings. Meetings are one of the main ways that we build something beautiful together. And sometimes these meetings are invigorating and affirming, not always. But what if we thought of church meetings as an excellent opportunity to practice yes and? When there's a task to be done or a situation to be managed, it can be overwhelming for one person. But when church works well, and if we are paying attention, and if we are successful in cultivating an empowering and affirming atmosphere, then at some point, chances are the right person is going to surface, and then another, and then another, and we build on the gifts of many to move forward. At our best, that's what happens. Sometimes it's difficult in meetings to receive what is offered by someone. In those cases, it takes practice to find the nugget of grace or creativity that has been offered and to add to it in some way.
I think it's important to acknowledge that for different people, it takes a different amount of bravery to speak up. Some people are like me. In this case, I'm literally a Nepo baby. Speaking in front of you because my mom runs a church, right? But also, I'm just kind of bold in general. I feel empowered to speak my mind, honestly, more than I probably should at times. But I also know that different people may not feel that same encouragement. Different socioeconomic statuses, gender identity, sexuality, race, religion. There's so many different factors that inform our point of view. And depending on those, it may feel more difficult for us to speak up and be brave and make our contribution. In improv, we talk all the time about support and encouraging behaviors like bravery. And in these settings where communication is vital, it is just as important as it would be on an improv stage to listen to each other, to support each other, and to encourage future bravery and communication.
Honestly, I feel like churches are not always good at this principle, at affirming everyone. A lot of people have felt judged in church, or they felt they had to hide who they are in order to avoid being judged. Countless people have been unable to bring their full, authentic selves to church. And I'm not only talking about LGBTQIA+ people, but I'm thinking of single parents, or single people without children, divorced people, or people who are married but whose spouses are not into church and don't come with them. Churches are sometimes good at sending these little subtle messages that infer that people are not welcome exactly as they are. A supportive, positive church culture takes practice. As individuals are more comfortable with each other, then the bonds of community become stronger. Are we really open to recognizing the gifts of one another? Look around at each other. You know, people you meet in coffee hour, people you don't know that you sit next to. There's the eye contact you exchange with someone you encounter on the portico or in the founder's room. You know, all of these situations are ripe for building a rapport. And there are ways that we communicate with few words. With your eyes, with your body language alone, you can express a sense of, I'm glad you're here. I can tell that you're a gifted person, and I welcome the ways that you want to offer those gifts here. Also, I want to point out that that style of communication, eye contact, bright smile, easy laughter, it's not everyone's way of interaction. Some people are quieter or shyer, introverted. And so accepting them as they are means to let go of any judgment, allow people to interact as they are comfortable. David, thank you so much for presenting today. Relating the spirit of improv to our faith journey, individually and collectively, our faith journeys. It just feels like a fresh perspective, so thank you for bringing that to worship today. Just as improv performers trust and support each other on stage, remember, we can foster a community where everyone feels empowered, valued, and safe to express their true selves. A positive and supportive mindset allows us to grow together, to learn from our experiences, to build each other up. So I'm going to close with another question just for you to think about. How can you contribute to making our church a place where everyone feels loved and supported? How can you personally contribute to that? How can you practice the yes and principle in your interactions? How can you contribute to a space where every voice is heard and every gift is celebrated? Whoever you are and wherever you are on life's journey, I'm so glad that you're here. We need you.